All right, guys, you're welcome. I am Marv. You can call me Marvin, and he is AFCON Paradise, aka Tadis Fabricio, and we are here to talk about the AFCON semi-final games between Senegal and Egypt, and also Nigeria and Morocco. This evening at 5 p.m., we are going to witness a repeat of the AFCON final between Senegal and Egypt, and then at 8 p.m., we have our brothers in West Africa, that is Nigeria playing against Morocco. This evening, we are going to take a look at the games that both teams are going to play, the strength and the weaknesses of each team, and then we are going to look at the head-to-head as well as predictions in these games. Now, Akwesi Paradise is here to help me out with these analysis and these discussions. Now, as I mentioned, we are going to take a look at the 5 p.m. kickoff game between Senegal and Egypt. Now, for the head-to-head, we have both of them playing against each other since 1986. Yes, since 1986. And the first game that they played was played between them at the home grounds of Senegal. It was in the AFCON. It was in the AFCON where Senegal won this particular encounter by a lone goal to zero against Egypt in 1986. Now, moving forward to 2000, Senegal played against Egypt, and in this particular encounter as well, which was in the AFCON, Egypt won against Senegal by a lone goal to zero. In the same 2000, we witnessed both of them playing against each other, and in the group stage of the qualifications for the World Cup, it ended in a 0-0 drawn game. Back all the way to 2001, Egypt played against Senegal, and in this particular encounter, it ended in a 1-0 victory, which means the first leg actually ended in a 0-0 drawn game, and then in the second leg, Egypt won by a long goal to zero. Now, fast forward to 2022, where they played their last game. That was also in the qualifications for the FIFA World Cup, and in this particular encounter, Senegal came out victors in this one. Senegal won by 2 goals to zero against Egypt, and in this particular encounter, they played penalty shootout at the end of the game, where Senegal won in a 3-1 victory against Egypt. Today, we are going to take a look at both teams playing in the AFCON semi-final. What is going to happen? How is it going to be like? We have Sadio Mane playing against Mohamed Salah. I have Akwesi Paradise here to help me out with the analysis on how these teams are going to set up and how they are going to play. Akwesi.
Marv. Well, it has been a great journey for these two teams coming up in this AFCON because if you check the head-to-head, I mean, Senegal is up there against Egypt. If you check the goals, Senegal has 9 goals and Egypt has also scored 5 goals in terms of the head-to-head. Now, when it comes to this particular feature, it's kind of a hot one, looking at the rivalry between Senegal and Egypt. And personally, Sadio Mane and Egyptian king, that is Mohamed Salah. Now, if you check the lineup and if you check the kind of players that they have, obviously you say that Senegal is up there because if you look at their players here, they are all in Europe, well exposed more than those at Egypt. Now, going into this match, like you said, it's a kind of a revenge or a return game of what happened 2 years ago in what happened. Yes, sure. It's kind of a final. Now, a lot of people are saying that final and a year born, and I do agree because this is a hot game that will be played today. Now, if you look at the players here, Senegal will be going into this particular game without a certain Koulibaly because of the red card he had in a previous match. Now, that would be a hindrance for Senegal to, I mean, to do it because Manu Koulibaly is one of the best centre back in their team. Now, moving forward, I think Egypt has been one of the toughest teams because they've only drawn one of their matches in this particular AFCON. They've won all the matches, unlike Senegal. They've also same thing. They've also drew only one. Now going forward, is it football? No, yeah, the history in account. And if you look at everything, looking at the play that they will line up today, everything will depend on the coaches too. But on paper, I think Senegal is the favorite to come out with the flying colors. With the players that they have, Koulibaly will not be part, but it wouldn't be a big problem for Senegal to get the 3 maximum points. So I think Senegal will definitely trash Egypt in this particular features, honestly.
All right. So before we move on to the next game, let me get your prediction on this particular encounter between Senegal and Egypt.
A big one. It will be 2-1 in favor of Senegal. It will be 2-1 in favor of Senegal.
2-1 in favor
yeah,
of Senegal.
Yeah, sure.
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
100% positive that this will happen.
I've been doing it. I've been doing it in the UCL, in the Premier League, and this is one of the things we've been doing all the day. So trust me, Senegal will come out with 2-1 victory. Now, my guy will be on the score sheet. Sadio Mane will be on the score sheet. Then the other one probably maybe Nicolas Jackson, of course.
If he plays.
Also, yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying. Probably if you get a chance to play, he will also do the magic in there. And Mo Salah will do whatever it takes to do to help Egypt.
I have the feeling he will score a penalty today.
Nessa last 2 years in the final, he scored a penalty. Yeah. Right. Mo Salah, Sadio Mane also scored
a penalty. Yeah. So what that happen today?
No. This will be a straight 90 minutes match without any going into an extra time or something like that. But Senegal will win this particular. Senegal will win this match.
All right. So we are going to move away from the Senegal-Egypt game and then take a look at another particular game that would also take place at the Stade Prince Mouale Abdallah Stadium all the way in Rabat, Morocco, between Nigeria and Morocco. And this particular game, we've seen a lot of social media posts, a lot of people coming up with their own perception, their own, someone will say conspiracy theories in quotes. Because how can you have a West African nation playing against a North African nation, and then you have a West African referee as the center referee? Yeah. And then there's a South African referee as the, I think, fourth referee. And we all know the rift between Nigerians and then South Africans. So it's a bit looking more or less like what some people are assuming or what they are portraying it to be. That is, CAF really wants Morocco out. But then, on the other hand, we've seen Morocco play throughout the entire tournament. We've seen Morocco accrue some victories that we all thought wasn't even possible. In the first game that Morocco played in the 2025 AFCON against Comoros, Morocco won by 2-0. And then they drew their second game with Mali. In this particular game, almost everybody thought it was going to be a cool job for Morocco. But then, on the other hand, they ended up drawing this particular encounter. But then Morocco came back in the third game of the group stage matches and then won against Zambia by 3-0. And then again, in the round of 16, they won against Tanzania by a lone goal to 0. And then facing Cameroon before they got to the semi-final, they played against them and then won by 2-0. Now, you could say that their best player so far has been Brahim Diaz for Morocco. You could say it has been Brahim Diaz. But then, when you take a look at Nigeria, they started the competition on a very good note as well. They won against Tanzania by 2-1, won against Tunisia also by 3-2, and then won against Uganda by 3-1 as well. Now, round of 16, Nigeria won against Mozambique by 4-0. Against Algeria in the quarterfinals, they won by 2-0. And their star men, in fact, the entire Nigeria team is more or less being rested on the shoulders of Lukman and then Osimhen. Now, Akwesi, I don't know how this encounter is going to go, but then, per your analysis, how do you think these teams would perform? How do you think the entire match is going to go after the full interval?
So, first of all, before coming on to your question, I'm even happy that Daniela is the center referee because I'm a Ghanaian. Yeah. We didn't qualify, but most of our people are representing for us. So, I'm very, very happy with this. His second match that he will be officiating in this particular tournament. Now, moving on to this particular fixture, Nigeria has 100% record in this AFCON. They've never lost any match. They've won all their matches. And like you were saying, most the team depends on the attackers. That is Lukman and the other Osimhen. Okay. Yeah. And looking at how Morocco also played, Morocco looks like more organized than Nigeria because we all know how they've invested in their team. When they are playing on the field, you see that now team na born. They understand themselves very well. Currently, when I talk of best African teams, you cannot talk. You cannot mention. You cannot leave Morocco
Morocco,
out
I was
because
here.
of how they've invested. Now, Nigeria coming into this game, they look more hungry because they didn't qualify for the World Cup, and it's obvious that they were not doing well, they were not performing. So moving into this game, they are doing everything it takes to win this particular fixture. And this Russia match is normal, but they don't win by one goal, 2-3-4,
Yeah.
2-3-4. Now it looks like everything favors Morocco because of how they've invested and do other
And
things.
they're
But
also the host nation.
sure, host nation. But you see, born a Nigeria born, I'm not doing to the extent that the least mistake you do, they will score you.
Yeah.
O pass ball number Osimhen two or better one. So moving on to this particular picture, Morocco should be very careful, especially with their defense.
Now let me ask you this: looking at the Moroccan defense against the Nigerian attack, do you think that the Moroccan defense can deal with the pressure and then the heat that the Nigerian attack would bring?
No, when it comes to pressure, I don't think it will be a problem for them because all their players, especially the defense, they are well experienced, they are well exposed. They've played in most of the top stages in football. If you look at Hakimi, Mazraoui, Hakimi at Paris Saint-Germain, Mazraoui, Manchester United, they are big boys. There is nothing like pressure when it comes to this match coming on today. But you see, in football, the least mistake now, Ben, will be the best shot. And we all know we know how Victor Osimhen took place. He's one of the most toughest opponent that you could ever face. He's attack all the ball in first round or behead. So the best thing they could do to avoid defeat is to be very careful, be very organized like they've been doing. I mean, they drew one of their matches coming up in this throughout this AFCON journey. As I said earlier on, Nigeria has 100% record. So it tells you that the Nigerians are not in to play. They really mean business. They are like, oh, young qualifying, young and of course, it will be a favor.
Yeah.
If Morocco want to do host and win, they have to win this one. But I don't see them coming out winning this particular fixture.
Now, let's take a look at the Moroccan attack. You take out Diaz. Do they still have enough firepower to actually win this particular game against Nigeria?
Of course they have. I mean, Kabi has been one of the big guys for them. And when one thing is that when it gets to a crucial stage, that's where you see the how do you call it, the potential of Hakimi. He will just move in to come and score. Like when they get a set piece and stuff. So even though Brahim Diaz play a major role, but I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. In his absence, Morocco will suffer, but then Morocco will lose. Me, I'm trying to short. Morocco will lose.
I was about to ask you that, looking at the quality that both teams have, both teams possess right now in the AFCON, who do you think is going to win? I want you to give me your prediction.
The ultimate.
No,
this fixture.
This fixture, the Nigerian Moroccan fixture.
Honestly, I don't support Nigeria to progress, okay? But maybe I'm to China and come football. Nigeria will win this fixture, honestly. The only thing that can favor Morocco is that when they move in as an organized team, they can destroy you. You understand? But the tatashe that these Nigerian players play with, the aggressiveness, bro.
Do you think Morocco can handle the aggressiveness of the Nigerian team?
That would be a big problem for them. And so when the aggressiveness of the Nigerians, the only thing you can use to how do you call it, stop them is to play as a team, organized, well compact. So if you face them with that, how should I even put it? Like what I say, then you start moving on. But I don't see Morocco winning this match.
So that means you're going to see a lot of tiki-taka from the Moroccan team this year. Because I think one of the best way to play against an aggressive team.
If you go tiki-taka against them, they will score you because 2 million. Do you understand? 2 million tiki-taka. Morocco play like a war, like as a more system or mobile. They understand themselves very well. And they say Nigeria the tiki-taka shiom now some can say, oh, let's also go with the tiki-taka. It'll be very hard. It'll be very difficult. But Nigeria will win. Bro.
Nigeria will win a scoreline.
Probably 2-1.
You gave us the 2-1 against who?
against Morocco.
2-1 against Morocco.
Yeah, it will not be this time around. It will not be host and win. It will not be host and win.
All right, guys. So AFCON Paradise in the first game between Senegal and Egypt, in the Senegal and Egypt game, predicted that the scoreline is going to be in favor of Senegal, 2-1.
2-1, yes.
And then in the Nigeria versus Moroccan game, he is also saying the same thing. The scoreline is going to be 2-1 in favor of Nigeria against Morocco this evening. Now, I want you to stay glued to your TV. At 5 p.m., we have the Senegal-Egypt game, and then at 8 p.m., we have the Nigeria-Morocco game also coming up. Now, I know a lot of us will be wondering how this game will go. It's only time that will tell. For us, we are just here to do a little bit of analysis. And in fact, thank you guys for joining us. Go on YouTube and go. Right. So guys, make sure you tune in to Y97.9 FM every Monday to Friday, 7:20 to 7:30. We'll bring you the live sports updates, and then 5:50 p.m. on the Drive of Your Life. We also bring you live sporting updates. And then on Sundays at 5 p.m., make sure you catch us because we're going to talk about football. In fact, we're going to talk about everything sports from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Sundays on Y Scores Unlimited. You don't want to miss that because it is going to be myself, AFCON Paradise, and the entire team coming together and then bringing you the best of analysis. For now,